Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for July 28, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a Time for Change call this Wednesday night, July 30th, after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. Got a lot to talk about, always. The creative process is a process of surrender, not control. Julia Cameron. Make sure you're in a comfortable position, no outside distractions. Relaxed into your body. Focused on your breath rising and falling. Still as a statue. Most of us are guarded people. Because of our experiences from childhood all the way through adulthood, we put up protection. We feel we need to be protected from letdowns, heartaches, disappointments, and that type of thing. Now, the question might rise: is that doesn't it? Aren't there some situations where it's good to protect myself? It depends on how spiritually advanced you are and what lessons you're still needing to learn. If you know you are an infinite being that will never die, then what is there to defend? That which is real cannot be harmed, so why protect it? Yet, if you're still healing wounds inside the ego and creating an identity that needs certain boundaries, then it will feel blatantly obvious that there is something that needs protection. You may need to be as strong as a mountain to stand up for your rights in order to one day let them go. Yet, 99.99% of the time, you are not surrounded by angry, hungry tigers, and this defense mechanism is just an old unconscious habit blocking you from total liberation. The need to defend yourself is what actually makes your ego appear real. The ego, however, is like your shadow. How ridiculous would it be to see someone protecting their shadow from getting touched by sunlight? This is how you look when you defend your ego. You want to become super conscious, awakened spiritual being, stop protecting your ego. Most of us protect our ego. That's where we feel we need to be protected and argue and prove to be right and wanting to be ahead and wanting to be on top. And any type of defending that you do is just coming from a place of fear, insecurity, and weakness. Defenselessness is about doing no harm on any level to any being. It is truly living from a place of peace with all beings and will only manifest peaceful situations. Whenever you get upset or triggered by others, try this simple technique because it becomes like a flute that is hollow and light, and allow your breath to flow through you and your triggered feelings. Who knows, their negative words may start to sound like music to your ears, your new ears. Even if you are in a long-term relationship and have been hearing sour notes for years, simply allow that song to play. Play on through. Breathe into it, through it, and let your body feel it, and eventually release it. We invite you to make the choice right now to never protect or defend your ego. Just ask, who am I defending? What shadow self is there, and is the aspect real or imaginary? And the more you investigate what needs to be defended, the more you realize that these are only small, helpless, powerless voices from your past. It may be the same voice your parents or siblings had. And if you need to, then feel this need. You feel this need to defend these shadow parts, and then let it go. The greater your defense is, the more suffering enters your body, and you'll soon be forced to let go because you are playing into that which is not real. The universe won't let you buy into this defensive energy for very long because the imaginary always moves to the real. It's easier to see the deeper lessons that life is teaching you once you become an unobstructed channel of awareness. And the more you can let down your defenses, the more receptive you can become to the abundance and divine power of all around you and inside you. Truth is that there is really no reason to be guarded at all. Who you truly are can never be hurt by the outer world. It is only the ego self that believes it can be harmed, hurt, and destroyed. The timeless infinite consciousness that you are cannot be touched by anyone or anything. Ever. As an eternal radiant being, you are impervious to attacks from the outer world. The infinite beingness has never been harmed by vicious words or energy. All negative energy passes right through without touching the beauty of your timeless consciousness. As you awaken more and more to this realization, you will automatically notice the stillness or the silliness and uselessness of holding any walls up with anyone. These walls block the love from flowing between you. And once you see this, you will naturally take these walls down and let the brilliant light of your infinite nature shine through. For the next 7 days of your life, we invite you to make this radical choice. Be unguarded. Practice it with everyone, everywhere you go. Do not try to defend your point of view or protect yourself from other people's opinions, judgments, and verbal attacks. Simply practice accepting and releasing whatever comes your way. Have compassion for others. Decide to be a powerful and unlimited source of lightness, no matter what kind of energy is being sent in your direction. Do not take anything personally. Remember one thing. Your ego is not real. It's an illusion. Reside in what is real by surrendering to what is deepest inside. At the core of your innermost being, whatever unwanted messages this universe sends you, welcome them. Return to resting in this spiritual source inside. Play with creating a new unguarded way of accepting yourself and others in each moment. Allow everyone to have their own unique experience without judgment, and look for the deep eternal love in all of your interactions with them. Now, we all know that when you look at things and how you perceive them, and then how others influence you, it's like what you're talking with others. A lot of the times they have their opinions and they bring their opinions in, and that influences you, and then your point of view and outlook changes and shifts and everything. So, you temper that. When you are grateful, fear disappears and abundance appears. Anthony Robbins. It's very true. So some of us, we look at things with lacking. And we look at things where we don't have, we want, and, why is this happening, why is that happening? And it always goes back to a solution, right? How we view this life is how this life is going to be for each of us. Whatever we put into it, if we put worry, stress, and fear, then the life will be filled with worry, stress, and fear. If you put happiness, joy, bliss, contentment, deep gratitude, kindness, softness, then your life will be that, filled with abundance and prosperity. It always goes back to you. There's nothing else there. It's how you perceive everything. It doesn't matter. You can conjure up anything out of nothing or out of something even, and to make it even bigger. See? Where attention goes, energy flows. And, when we get to the point where, we're realizing that I've got to be careful on how I think, okay, you begin to manage things because you know that, if you blurt out or put out something, okay, and it's a negative, it's going to create. It's going to go into motion. It's going to go into manifesting. Now, if you look at things from a different perspective, in lightness and love and gentleness and kindness and gratitude, then that's what's going to surface. See what I mean? But there's so many of us on this planet that don't follow that at all. Zero. Not one bit. Not even aware of it. That we're not even aware of it. And we're in a whole different area. Okay? Every one of us is unique. Every body that you're in is unique. It's not the same as someone else's. It doesn't operate the same way. I know that sounds strange, but it's true. And so you're unique to you. And knowing you is super powerful. Not knowing you and being influenced from everything around you is not super powerful. What that does is it brings you into the old methodology of believing in things, and you believe in them and you create them into your life. And when you do this, what happens is that you have this situation where you're going, wait a minute, where am I headed with this? I don't really care to be in this energy or this way of thinking. I'm going to shift and go over here and focus on it, no matter what's going on, period. Okay? And your intent can change everything in your life. It's just your intent. And it's coming from you. And, this is why I say to people all the time that believe in miracles for yourself, for this life, for this planet, for the civilization. And not just, miracles. You believe in miracles. You're manifesting, creating. And that's the power of this civilization. It's massive. And yet, unfortunate part is that because, you hear me say this all the time, because of our programming, we don't know it. We don't know. Most of us don't have a clue to it. All these thousands and thousands of years, reincarnating and not getting there, okay? Because it's similar to kind of like a broken record in a way. You leave, you come back, you go in, you do your thing, you leave, you come back, you go in. And since the true essence of who and what you are is forever, you don't leave the body. Doesn't happen. You are eternal, always and forever. And so, with that power, okay, wouldn't you believe that you could literally manifest anything you want? Would that, doesn't that, you can have all the technologies at your disposal, which is good, it's not negative. But all those technologies were created by what? In the true sense of the word, collective consciousness, the gods. That's what they were created for. So you're a god. You're part of collective consciousness. So it means that you have the ability, and this is, a lot of people, the mind's too small of a container to comprehend this, to do all that for yourself. Okay? It's intent, and your thoughts are super powerful. Super powerful. And that's why you got to be careful. And you got to be very, you say to yourself, I got to be very careful because what I put out there is going to manifest. And I got to be careful of my thoughts. Where are my thoughts going? See, this is, a lot of us don't do it because we're so ingrained and involved with the material physical world that we leave that behind. We don't know. And we're kind of like wandering around. And we have a disconnection with our soul and our physical. All of our, questions and prayers and everything are with the God that we are. Not something outside of ourselves, but with the God that we are. And then we begin to realize, right, that with the God that we are, how truly powerful we are. See, on this planet, for so many years and years and years and decades and eons, however you want to measure the time, we have not known how powerful we are. Okay? We have not known many things. It's all a blank. It's like if you were to ask a group of people, do you know where these bodies originated? Not from birth or anything, but how were they engineered? How did all this happen? Right? How did all this stuff happen? And we don't know. We have no clue. The origin of our species wasn't the caveman. I think all of you know that. And these are, these blanks and everything. So focusing on something, and your energy flows when you focus. You're creating. And this is why you want to watch your thoughts. Because you're getting slammed by over 60,000 thoughts every day, over and over again, by the ego mind. And these are all other people's thoughts. And that gets confusing. So you visualize, like I've used before, where you're the sky and the clouds are the thoughts. You're the blue sky and the clouds are the thoughts. So you just let them pass by. Thought comes in, right, and you go, not interested, and let it pass by. If you have certain situations where, these thoughts keep coming back, you look at the thought and you go, I'm not interested. I know what it's about. I prefer and will put my frequency and energies in things that I want or desire in my life. Not get swept up by these other thoughts that carry us into situations and circumstances that we literally create for ourselves. That's what we do. We create them for ourselves. Isn't that wild? And so when we create them for ourselves, we don't really know that we're creating them for ourselves. We think that it was, where did it come from? Where did this come from? How did this happen? When did this happen? You is where it came from. Eventually, the civilization will, will transition in the direction of spiritual, highly spiritual beings. Now, will we be in bodies? Sure, we'll be in bodies. Absolutely. But we won't be in a flow of worry, stress, and fear. It won't exist. And I know for a lot of people that sounds, wow, that's kind of far-fetched, isn't it? No. Because we're making a transition, and it's a chosen transition on this planet. All the things that we have lived and all the lifetimes we've experienced have taken some of us that are aware to this point. Nothing is by chance. This has all been designed at this particular time in this outer rim of the Milky Way galaxy, in this planetary system that carries the planet Earth that this civilization is evolving on a spiritual basis, not physical. Well, physical in a way because of the technologies. But, and all the things, this is just interesting, all the things that you so far in this life have experienced, you will not be able to compare. I mean, if you want to make a comparison between that, you can, but there's no reason to. And your life will be totally different, completely different. And this is why you hear me say, focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Stay in deep gratitude, no matter what's going on. Be happy. Choose to be happy. Choose to be joyous. Choose to be blissful for nothing, because of nothing. Just because you decide to. It's just because of nothing, period. Okay? So when you look at this, and you decide to embrace it. You do. Nobody else does. And so when you decide to embrace it, you're on your way. There's no looking back. There's no going back, and there's no backtracking, and there's no backpedaling. Okay? That's what this is about. And this is what we're doing, is we're learning. First, we take baby steps through different incarnations. Then we take major leaps. And what are the major leaps? Well, the major leaps are discovering your power. You're discovering your power of spirituality, your power of the God that you are within that body, your power of thought while you're in that body, your power of creation while you're in that body, your power of manifestation while you're in that body. You are a supremely powerful being that's in that body. And you use the body as a conduit to create the material physical life and to create all the things and manifest all the things that you desire. Period. And you have it put together, and you know that's a difference. Most don't. Majority on this planet don't. But see, you know the structure. That's what you're looking at. And you're aware of your thoughts. And you're aware of your ego mind. So you're not in the dark. It makes it a lot different when you can spiritually connect with yourself. Huge difference. Really big difference. Spiritually connect with yourself. And who you are. And what you are. And know this deeply and not superficially. Not in passing, in passing. And kind of. But deep visitation. That's what these meditations are for. To go into silence. To just be. When we meditate, obviously we're in the most relaxed. We're relaxed into our body. And we're focused on our breath rising and falling. And this assists us. It helps us with what? How we know who we are. We're not the body. We're the God within the body, omnipotently powerful, supreme being that never dies. And that's how it works. And see, your commitment is huge. Commitment is forever. It's not short term. So you commit and you go with it and you stay with it. Period. No breaking away. It's just you're going in that direction because it's what you want to do. And this is the true power of every one of us on this planet. Completely so. But how many of us know that? Well, not many. Not many at all. I'd say we know to a certain extent. We're the minority. And it's practice. How long have we been practicing these meditations? Years. Years and years. Those of you that have been with me since the beginning, you know how to meditate. Right? You know when to go into yourself. You could be just going along the course of your day and you just excuse yourself and say, where are you going? I'm going to take some time to myself. See? It teaches us to move into a high spiritual place, which is the God within us. It teaches us these meditations. And the plethora of information that I give out covers many, many, many different avenues. Huge. And so you can actually say to yourself that you know how to meditate, you know how to go within, you know how to watch the ego mind so you can master it, you know how to leave the mind alone and stay in the now. You see, when I have conversations with people and they're talking about, 2 months from now or week from now, I don't know how to I'm not in that. So it's I go, I don't know. You don't plan. Planning is a construct of this society. You live in the now. That's it. If you live in the now, how are you going to plan? Okay? It's a construct in a society. It's a programming. And you see, this is why. Someone might say, well, how is that? When you live in the now, and you know who and what you are within that body, you know that you can manifest anything you want. So why would you need to plan anything? You send your manifestation out while you're in the meditation and let it go. And it begins to manifest. Whatever you focus on, you're going to create. You're not going to create it. So it's up to you to realize that you are a omnipotently powerful being, supreme manifesting abundant being that never dies. That's what you truly are. You're not the body. You're not your name. You're not your place in society. You're not your belongings. You're none of that. That's all like on a lease plan. As long as you're in the body, then you leave and it's all here. We all know that. Whatever you have, you leave. And you don't really have it. You just enjoy it while you're in the body. And see, to be totally free is to live in heart-mindedness. Is to permanently stay in heart-mindedness. So what you do is that's how you master the ego mind. You use the heart mind to master the ego mind. And then what happens after you've mastered the ego mind? You've mastered your thoughts. You'll know exactly the thought that you send out, and those are the only thoughts that you embrace. Not anybody else's thoughts. Nothing. You embrace those thoughts. You are the one. And the more you practice it, like these meditations, puts you in heart-mindedness. Deep gratitude 24/7 puts you in heart-mindedness. Embracing the God that you are within that body puts you in heart-mindedness. And that's where you want to be. Not once in a while or only when things are this way or that way, but all the time. Period. All the time. For any of us. All the time. And when you're there, when in that place, and you're practicing it all the time, you move your vibrational frequency way, way, way up. You leave behind third-dimensional dankness and frequency. Okay? You leave it behind, and you don't look back. Okay? Because this planetary population, like I said, is going through a massive evolutionary jump into spirituality, into spirit, into God. Reuniting with the God self is what this is all about on this planet. All the things you see going on, okay? And you see evil, which is a part of everything. The evil is in the sphere as well. And you see it diminishing, and it's like I said, it's a poked animal in a cage. Very violent, very aggressive, out of control. Okay? So when you know that, and you say, well, so my vibrational frequency is going up, and as it goes up, you're not going to really be paying attention to that. Where attention goes, energy flows. You won't be. You watch. You'll move more and more away from it, not because you know what it is. You're not running from it. You just say, I don't care to be involved or intertwined or engaged with that anymore. I want to be peaceful. I want to be happy and joyous and blissful. See? Now, what would happen? You ask yourself, what would happen if you right, were let's just put it in you had no issues, okay? You had no physical issues, you had no emotional issues, you had a long lifespan, and you didn't have the worry, stress, fear, anxiety, lack of that type of energy. It's all gone. And everything was available to you. Nothing wasn't available to you. Everything was available to you. Okay? How would that be? How would you feel about that? How would you operate? How would you respond? Because we're all so conditioned of living down here when we were designed to live up here. All of us. No suffering. Okay? We know what it is. We all know what suffering is. We all know what pain is. We all know what disappointment is. We all know what dishonesty is. See, because we've had the comparison. You see what happens? We move on. We know what all that stuff is. We've experienced it many times. And we'll move on, and we'll be able to see our past lives. Okay? Clearly. But see, we've done it so long. And in just about all civilizations, if not all of them, they go through a spiritual evolution as long as they're not going to be extinct. And they move into a higher existence. You could be on this planet living in a higher existence because you chose to increase your vibrational frequency by being in the now and embracing the God that you are within that body. And everything shifts, see, because you change the molecular structure of everything around you outside of that body. You change it. And you affect everything. So you move higher and higher in spirituality due to your choosing. It's going to affect everything around you. It'll affect other people. It'll affect plants, everything. Every energy, every frequency is affected. Now you imagine, you get enough of us that begin that ascension. It's magna glorious. The planet begins to transform. There's no more hate. See? There's no more competing ego. There's no more conflict. And who's doing that? We are. There's no outside source. We're doing it. We are cosmic. We are unending. We are collective consciousness. And this is what we do. And we shift and we change things. Everything that's created came from the collective consciousness. No ifs, ands, buts about it. I think you all know that. So what is creation? We are. The gods that we are in these bodies. We are creation. You hear me say a lot, always, beyond, and forever. Beyond. Beyond consciousness. Beyond all of this. It never ends. See what I mean? If someone says, well, there's an end, there's always got to be an ending, and there's always got to be a beginning. It's just a transition. Does the body end? Sure. Eventually. What happens with the spirit? It's part of the collective consciousness. Footloose, fancy-free. Create whatever, whenever. So in the quiet time of this meditation, talk with the God that you are. Listen. See what communication that God gives you. We'll join you in a meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body, focused on your breath rising and falling. You will live for eternity. Sure, this body and mind will die someday. Yet you will go on and on and on. Once you know in your heart that you have an infinite amount of time ahead of you, you do relax and step into an expansive, timeless, multidimensional spiritual experience. Every little occurrence becomes another opportunity for spiritual growth and enlightenment. Now here's your assignment today. Act as if you are living an ever youthful, energetic, super alive body-mind that will live far beyond 1,000 years. Have conversations with people from this place, knowing you will live forever. Imagine the wisdom, relationships, and the life experiences you will have during this time. Feel, experience, and know you live forever in an ideal anti-aging state of being. Explore, imagine, and rediscover who you are. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and following morning. We'll return here Tuesday, July 29, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on within you nor outside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.